Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we are unpacking a deeply fascinating, incredibly common, and yet kind of invisible phenomenon that totally governs how we interact with the digital world. We're talking about the intense, often really profound connections we form with people on our screens. You know, the creators we watch, the podcasters we listen to on our commute, the streamers we spend our entire evenings with. We invest time, emotion, and energy into them. But what is actually happening in our brains when we do this? Let's figure it out.
Let's start with a really quick test. Just be totally honest with yourself for a second here. Do you know your favorite YouTuber's daily coffee order? Do you know the name of their new dog? Or maybe you know exactly what personal struggles they were going through last month. Now ask yourself this. Do you know those things better than you know the lives of some of the actual coworkers sitting just a few desks away from you? If your answer is yes, take a breath. You are not weird. Actually, scratch that, you are incredibly human.
By the year 2025, this specific experience blew up into one of the most talked about concepts in all of psychology. And there is a very good reason for that. Almost everyone experiences this on some level, yet almost nobody realizes just how deeply it's shaping their daily lives, their moods, and even their social expectations. It has literally become a defining characteristic of our modern digital existence. Okay, let's dive into this and define what's actually happening here. A parasocial relationship is a one-sided, emotional bond you form with someone who doesn't even know you exist. Think about a celebrity, a podcaster, or a daily vlogger. You genuinely feel like you know them, right? You laugh out loud at their jokes in an empty room, you worry about them when they say they've had a tough week, and you feel a real spark of joy when they hit a big milestone. Your brain is essentially doing all of the exact same social bonding work it would do with a real flesh and blood friend. The catch, of course, is completely obvious the second you say it out loud. They have absolutely no idea you exist.
Section 1. Your brain's evolutionary mismatch. Why it feels so real.
So why does it feel so undeniably real? Well, to understand that, we actually have to look back at our biology. Simply put, your brain did not evolve for parasocial media. In our tribal evolution over thousands of years, if you saw someone's face on a regular basis and heard the sound of their voice, that person was, by strict biological definition, part of your actual life. Now, jump to modern media. When a creator posts a video every single day, and they sit there talking directly into the camera, sharing their day with you, your nervous system literally cannot fully tell the difference between a person you actually know in your tribe and a person whose face you see on a 4K screen every single day. It is a total evolutionary mismatch.
Now, what's genuinely fascinating here is the literal psychological formula for human connection. It goes like this. Regular exposure plus emotional disclosure equals trust and attachment. That is the exact formula your brain uses to build trust with real people in your physical life. So when a creator shares personal stories intentionally to build an audience, or even accidentally just by being super authentic, they are hacking that exact same biological wiring. They are triggering your absolute deepest mechanisms for trust.
Section 2. Supplement versus substitute. Finding the balance.
Now, before we go sounding the alarm, we really need to look at the duality of this whole phenomenon. It's all about how we use these relationships in our daily lives. There is a real, tangible upside here that is completely worth naming. This isn't all bad. In fact, for many people, parasocial bonds can actively lower short-term loneliness. They can effectively model positive behaviors and values that you might actually want to adopt in your own life. And, importantly, they can create a genuine, robust sense of community. This is especially vital for people who are feeling isolated, who deal with social anxiety, or who are maybe going through something highly specific that the real people immediately around them just don't understand. Finding a creator who just gets it can be a total lifeline. That is absolutely not nothing.
But right here is where we need to just slow down a second and look at a pretty hard truth. Substitutes don't actually meet the need. The problem starts when a parasocial relationship stops supplementing the real connections in your life and starts completely replacing them. Think about it. You can sit in your room and watch 4 straight hours of your favorite streamer. You can chat in the comments, you can laugh at their jokes, and when you finally turn the screen off, you can feel exactly as alone as you did when you started. Why? Because the fundamental part of your human spirit that desperately needed to be seen, heard, and responded to today never actually got that.
Psychologists actually point to a very specific warning sign to help us spot when this shift happens. Is this content a healthy supplement or an unhealthy substitute? The tipping point happens when you find yourself feeling lonely or upset. If your default reaction, and I mean your automatic default, not just occasionally, is to reach for a creator's content instead of reaching out to an actual friend or family member, the relationship has officially shifted from a supplement to a substitute.
Section 3. The new loneliness economy. Monetizing connection. Because this psychological vulnerability, it isn't just happening in our living rooms by accident. It is happening at a massive macro level. And let me tell you, it is highly lucrative. We're witnessing the rapid rise of what is being called the loneliness economy. These are apps, platforms, and services literally being designed and engineered from the ground up to monetize our innate biological need for human connection. We are talking about highly sophisticated AI companions that text you good morning and literal rent-a-friend platforms where you can pay for the illusion of companionship. Tech companies recognize that we are totally starved for connection, and they are aggressively building products to fill that void artificially.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive shift we've undergone recently. Parasocial bonding used to just be a quirky side effect of consuming media, you know? You watched a late-night talk show host and you kind of felt like you knew them. It was just a byproduct. Today, it is increasingly the core business model itself. The entire goal of the platform is to make you feel emotionally tethered to the persona on the screen, so you never ever log off.
Section 4. Finding the right balance. Moving forward.
So knowing all of this, how do we actually move forward? How do we live in a hyper-digital world without totally losing our physical reality? The absolute crucial point here is empowerment. Look, none of this research means you need to suddenly quit watching your favorite creators or feel guilty for enjoying a podcast. It's simply about treating the feeling honestly. Step 1. Enjoy the parasocial connection for exactly what it is. A very real but entirely one-directional entertainment experience. It is totally okay to enjoy it. But step 2 is your anchor. Make absolutely sure that this digital consumption is sitting alongside and not taking the place of real, messy, beautiful, two-directional reality.
Which brings us to our final thought. The very next time you find yourself deeply invested in the life, the struggles, and the triumphs of someone living inside your screen, take a step back and ask yourself this: who in your life actually knows your name? Who knows your coffee order? Make sure you're investing just as much energy into the people who can actually look back at you.